Hi, I'm here today to talk about dreadlocks. I've been checking out a lot of the dread videos here on YouTube, and it seems a lot of people have very different ideas on how you make and maintain dreads, and if you should use products, etc. So as a dreadhead myself, I'm here to set the record straight and offer you all the advice and help that I can. And if you have any questions regarding dreadlocks, just post them here and I'll answer them as soon as possible. Right, I've made a little list. Where to start? Reasons for getting dreadlocks. There are no real reasons. A lot of people think, oh, if you get dreadlocks, you're either a hippie or you're into reggae music. That's not true. And it's also nothing to do with race. You don't have to be black to have dreadlocks either. Or into metal music, etc. It's just a hairstyle. So everybody has their own reasons for locking the hair up, and any's as good as any other. Right, reactions. You need to be aware of people's reactions when you get dreadlocks, especially if you don't like attention, because you will get it by having dreads. People will come up to you and ask you, why have you got your hair like that? Do you wash it? Does it smell? Want to touch it? Things like that. So if you don't like attention, maybe you should think about that before you decide to lock your hair up. Time and effort. Now this is a big one. Dreadlocks are a huge commitment, especially for the first few months. When you first get dreadlocks, you're going to have to maintain them constantly. You're going to have to be messing with them, taking real good care of them, being really careful. You're going to have to be messing with them practically every day, to be honest. So that's something to consider as well. If you haven't got a lot of spare time in your hands or patience, you're going to need it for dreads. Now, another biggie, products. Now, here on YouTube I've seen a lot of videos with people saying, don't use any products at all, and they swear by the natural method, neglect. I mean, that's fine if you want natural dreadlocks, but this can take years and years to form in your hair, and they don't look neat. It's up to you. All dreadlocks are cool. If you want natural ones that aren't neat, that's great, but if you want your neat ones, that's great too. So, products. I've got a few products here which I've picked up for today. This here is dread wax. Now, I know a lot of people on here are saying that this is the biggest no-no in dreads and you shouldn't use it, it damages your dreads, it's bad for dreads. This is true. Wax is okay when used in moderation, like anything. Basically, if I do use wax, which is very rare, I'll use it as a temporary measure. Like if I go camping, for example, I ain't got time to maintain my dreads properly, and I get a few frizzes or a few loose hairs, I might use a little bit of wax just to keep it under control until I get home and I'll sort it properly. But really, you don't want to be putting much of this on at all. Maybe a little bit when you first get dreads, but I'd try avoid it if you can. Secondly, this is a Dreadhead HQ locking accelerator. I would also avoid this. I've tried it, as I have with most dreadlock products, and to be honest, it's not great. In my opinion, it seems to hamper your dreadlocks more than help them. So I don't know what the thinking was behind that one, but try avoid that one if you can. Another product here is your dread shampoo. Now it doesn't have to, this is the Dreadhead shampoo. It doesn't have to be a dreadlock product shampoo to work, but you've got to be aware you cannot use conditioners or anything like that. So you've got to check the labels for what shampoos to use. If you're going to use dread shampoo, then fair enough. Personally, I don't wash my hair. I don't wash my dreads, and that again is it's up to you. Some people say, oh, you know, oh, it's dirty not washing your hair. After a while, your hair does start to clean itself. And if you maintain it properly, there's no reason for it to start smelling or be unclean or anything like that. So again, shampoo is, or washing dreads is entirely up to you. But if you do wash it and you've got new dreads, it is recommended that you put a stocking over your head maybe, and wash your dreads through a stocking for the first couple of months, and make sure you rinse them thoroughly, and get all the water out. Really dry them off when you finish with it. But again, that's up to you. That's up to you if you want to wash them or not. Now this is a product here I do like. This is called Lock Pepper, and this is again by Dreadhead. Now this is great for forming new dreads. You sprinkle a little bit out, dab your fingers in it, put it on the root of your dread, twist it round, and it's absolutely amazing for locking up hair and loose hair. So that is one product I will recommend, Lock Pepper. Now, another thing is a dread comb. That's an essential tool. This is a Dreadhead comb. But what you'll notice is, it's metal. You need a metal comb, because if you just use a cheap plastic one, the prongs, they'll break and snap after, I don't know, a few goes. You need a sturdy comb for back combing if you're going to put dreads in yourself and not have them natural. And that is an essential tool for maintaining and forming dreads, so you will need a metal comb. Elastic bands. Now these again are optional. People use these when they first put dreads in, sometimes at the root or at the root and tip, to keep the dreads in place until they start to knot themselves. But you've got to remember, dreads take a long time to knot, a minimum of 3 months. So if you're going to put elastic bands in, you're going to have them in for a long time. But it's up to you. With care and attention, you can do it without elastic bands. It's all down to your own personal preference. Now, sleeping, that were a big issue when I first got dreadlocks. I was bothered about my hair separating in my sleep, and I opted for one of these. It's like a hair wrap, so I just put this around my head on a night, go to sleep, take it off in the morning, and the dreads would stay nice and firm. Also, when you first get dreadlocks, they stick up as well, so it's a good way to keep your hair down. If you put this on a night, when you get up in the morning, your dreads will be nice and flat, which is cool. Now, so I'll just have a look at it. Hair types. There's a lot of myths saying, oh, if you've got certain hair types you can't have dreadlocks. That's nonsense. Dreads will form in any hair, either naturally or man-made by using the products or combs, etc. That's fine hair, which I had before I dreaded it. That's thick hair, frizzy hair, afro hair, all hair types, it doesn't matter. Now I'm going to go on to size of dreads. Now again, this is all down to your own personal choice, it's preference. I mean, you'll notice in my dreads, they're all different sizes, because that's how I want them. But again, that's down to you. But what I will say is, thicker dreads, the dread up are not much easier than thinner dreads, although thinner dreads are more acceptable in today's society. Right, well, I'll go work now. I'm talking about today's society. Dreadlocks can affect the job you do. Say for instance, if you're working in a kitchen, you're going to have your hair covered. If you keep your hair covered a long time, you've got dreadlocks, it can damage your dreads. Also, if you're doing something, I don't know, in the public eye, and you've got to look smart, a lot of companies won't like you having dreadlocks. So this is something you need to bear in mind before you get dreadlocks. Are they going to suit your career? Right. And the last and the most important thing is, dreadlocks do not form overnight. They're a huge commitment which take a long, long time to form. So if you're getting dreads and thinking they're going to look great next week, they won't. It's going to take a long time before they start looking good. Now, I've touched on all the basics. If you've got any questions you'd like to ask, how to make dreads, how to maintain them, anything like that, any questions about anything to do with dreadlocks, just ask me a mate and I'll reply to them as soon as possible. Thank you.